Hi, I'm Emma Lou, the Creative Director with Heartfelt Creations. Today I'm bringing you some techniques that are a new twist to lining up your stamps and dies. I'm also showing some great little tidbits on cutting out your intricate dies, and then we're doing some great new flower shaping tips as well. To line up the stamp with the die, I stamped the image first with just a regular red ink. And with this one, it stamps like a background, so the images are all attached. And then to line up this stamp with the die, we created this die a little bit differently. You'll notice that the blade is actually right on the edge. This makes it super easy to line up your stamped image. So to line this up, you're going to just basically flop the die with the blade towards the stamped image. I'll pick this up so you can see that. And then you can line that up. Once it's lined up, just press that tape down and that will keep it from moving when you run it through the machine. So your basic concept is just making sure that the edges of the opening are lined up with the stamped image. This is the Ariana Lace Die, and with this die you have 5 different pieces that are extremely intricate and so much fun to use. So I'm going to share some tips to cutting out your intricate dies. One thing I did want to show first is just where we use these pieces. Like here you have a very nice doily piece behind the flower. What we did is I used this piece and then I layered this piece behind it. So you have a really full doily, or you can use these pieces individually and you get a lot of different fun accents. I also have this little leaf swirl which can be fit underneath any flower, which is so much fun to use. So when I'm cutting out with my intricate dies, what I like to do is I'm showing you how to use it with just a Cuttlebug today. With the Cuttlebug, I'm putting both of them down and I want you to see how it cuts out just the first 2 times through the machine. The Cuttlebug is one of the machines that does not have quite as much pressure. So when you have a machine that doesn't have as much pressure, you definitely want to use a couple techniques to ensure that your dies are cutting correctly. So we'll bring this out and we'll just look at, you see on the back that that is barely even started cutting. You'll see over here that this one has a little bit, but if you'll notice, this edge was closer to that side, and that's where the most pressure of this machine is. If you take 2 of these very intricate dies and run them through at the same time, it really makes it there's not as much pressure on either one of them. So I'm going to remove this one, and I'm going to rotate this on my machine, and I'll pop that up to that side. I'm going to add a couple shims. This is just 2 layers of paper. Now you might want to test this out on your machine because different machines have different levels of tightness. So when I'm running this through, this is very tight and there's a lot of pressure being applied to that die. I'll just back it right back through and bring this out and let's see how that looks. And you'll see that that is cut out perfectly. So with just a little bit of rotation, adding another shim, that cut that out perfectly. Now to release this, I'm going to take my machine out of the way. To release this very easily, I will just pull this excess. Now I had taped this down, so let me just pull this off. And that is nicely stuck into the die yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the Spellbinder's Tool-in-One and just brush all over the top, and that will very quickly release that from your die. So you'll see all those pieces, and then you can use your paper piercer and just pop out those additional pieces that are still stuck in there. So it's a very decorative piece, so use those techniques when you're using your intricate dies. It'll make your life so much easier. There are so many different ways that you can shape these flowers. This is one of my favorite ones. This is just a little flower cluster, so we're going to shape one of those. This is the first one I'll be shaping today, so you can see that you get completely different looks. Here's some more different ones that I'll be showing in a future video, so you can really make completely different effects. Now I'm just going to pull this in very quickly so you can see all those different variations using one flower. So to start out with, we're going to shape this petal to achieve this flower. To do this, what I'll do is I'll have the front colored and also the back, because that's going to be the center of the flowers. So I'm using my flower rolling tool, and you'll see that this grabs right in the middle, so it's kind of cut open. I'll just grab it on the top and just pull that down and roll that all the way in. Then pull it out and you have that curled. The hardest trick with this one is just catching the petal. Once you've got that, it's just doing kind of a curling technique towards the center and then just release it. So once you have that fed into the petal, just bring that out, and you kind of do it randomly, so it gives more of a random flower shaping center. You just practice it a little bit. It's very easy to do. Just grab the top. Let me see, where is that split? There we go. Just curl it all the way towards the center. So this is more the tiny one, so this is the one that I would use for the flower center. So we'll just use that for each of the flower petals. And we'll just finish off. So this one has 6 petals. Then once you're finished curling all those petals, you can kind of pull them apart and group them together so that you can have a center similar to this. This one was using 2 of the large one and then the second size for the center. For the next flower that I'm shaping, you can get a completely different look. So with this one, I have the stamp side down, and I'm spraying just a little bit of water, just do a very light mist. I like to tap this off on paper. If you get it too wet, just let it dry for a little bit. That really helps to kind of relax the paper. But I'll use a larger tip of my stylus and just go in a circular motion right in the center of all of these petals. The tip size that I'm using is the 8mm. When you're doing this for the first time, just really press really hard. If you do break a petal, you have the option to glue it together. It won't hurt the flower. So we'll just do this in the last one, and we're ready to flip it over and just press down in the middle. And you'll really just go in a circular motion right in the center of that flower a couple times until the fibers of that paper are really kind of broken. And then I kind of take the tip of my fingers and just kind of crunch that together in a V shape. You'll see this on the back. It's kind of crunched together as a V shape. And I'll hold it, and then you can kind of just pull these petals apart, and you can kind of open that. Now what I would do is just lay this aside to dry, and once it's dry, you can kind of pull those petals around and just kind of shape it how you like it. But then you'll also see these very cool flower centers. These flower centers, all you'll have to do is just take, this is the large one, they're so easy to make, so much fun. Just take your large stylus, just press those up. You can make so many fun different variations with these. So we'll do this on each of the tips. Just give a slight curl up. This one's kind of like a spider going wild. Okay, so I'll bring this in. And you'll notice that I cut in here just a little bit. I did that so that it kind of curls together a little bit tighter, so that when you're gluing it down, this actually overlaps a little bit on the bottom. So if you want like a tight flower center, you can just push that together, and you can add that directly to the center of this flower. So it's super easy. There's different variations. I'll have an upcoming video that has more different flower shaping techniques as well. This is the Arianna Blooms. There are 6 stamp sets in this collection, so this is a glimpse at a different variation of these flowers placed on a card. There's so many different ways you can work with this. Here the tips are covered with some fun flock, so there's a lot of fun variations for these. This one's the Arianna Blooms bouquet. That's a very nice way to color them with the Ariana Lace dies in the background as an accent. And then this is another great little flower spray that you can color or just use as a background stamp. Here we have a scene with another Ariana spray. One of the design team members colored it very beautifully and made it look like a frame. We also have the Ariana Bird Haven. The Ariana Bird Haven was showcased on this card along with the flowers, the flower centers. So that's a fun large card for the special somebody in your life. Then we also have the Ariana Birthday. This one is great as a focal. Here's another peep at the Arianna Blooms stamps, and then the fancy lace die in the background. Then we also have this sentiment on the side. So there's a lot of different main images that you can stamp, color, adorn with the flowers and the lacy background. Here's another piece that I wanted to pull in. Here we use the Ariana Lace die as a window. This actually opens up, and you can put a little tea light in the back. So you have the birdhouse, the butterflies, and the flowers on this one. This was also extremely cute, using the Ariana Lace die on the top as a shingle for this little birdhouse. Isn't that super cute? This is the Arianna Blooms paper collection. In this collection you get 12 different designs. There's 2 sheets of each design. So we'll see what's inside. With this one you have your card fronts, and then on the back is more of a neutral design in the corners. This has some 4x5, 6x6. I love to cut these apart, layer them, and then the back has your neutral if you're just doing your scrapbooking. Here we have some more A2 size card panels. And then we have the background that's a nice rich color of pink flowers. I love these paper palettes of colors. They're so fun to use. They're bright, they're cheery, they're vibrant. This reminds me of a nice border for a card. Here we have these open card front panels that you can add your photo or you can add your stamp dimension on the inside. Here we have a nice border along the edge. This one's absolutely beautiful. You can add your photos, and these tags can be cut out with the luggage and tags die. There's a polka dot background that's a basic that you can add into any project. Here we have the butterflies along with the corner of the flowers. Very light pink pastel background. I've been using this for so many projects. This is your pre-done scrapbook page for your layout. It's double-sided, so you can put 2 side by side. Then we have the little 6x6s. These are smaller versions of the large designs, and then the backs of these are very neutral. I know it makes it so difficult to choose which side to use, but there are 2 sheets of each design, so you can use both sides if you'd like to do that. These 6x6 are more neutral as well, and then the back is a nice bright green color. Then we add it with our gift tag journaling blocks, and all of these can be cut out with our luggage and tag die set. I know you'll have so much fun incorporating these flower shaping techniques, and hopefully these die cutting techniques will make the process a little bit smoother for you in your craft room. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiration on upcoming videos. I'm going to have another one using some more flower shaping techniques. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.